Hi there, I'm Mike, and what I have for you today is sort of an unboxing slash first impression slash review of these NECA movie Turtles and Master Splinter. I've had the Turtles for quite some time. I just got Master Splinter, the spirit of Splinter, in a NECA box. Now this figure, if you haven't watched my unboxing, it's going to be somewhere around here. But the figure was a special loot launcher, which was a crowd-funded kind of offering, I guess. They only made these for the people that ordered the loot launcher or supported the loot launcher. I only bought one. Some people bought a bunch because, again, this isn't available in stores. You can't go to GameStop or you can't buy these at a normal place. You have to order on eBay if you didn't get it from Loot Crate when they offered it. So good luck finding it if you decide that you want it. But this is just kind of me. I want to open it up. I got the Turtles here. I kind of just want to get them around looking at Splinter, show you what he comes with, things like that. So I'm going to get the Turtles off the screen real quick here. First, let's take a look at the packaging, just briefly. This is the packaging that the movie Turtles have been coming in, reminiscent of the VHS with the kind of green outline and the logo there. That's sort of the scene this recreates, which is why I brought all the Turtles. This is the promotional art for the movie. You can see that everything's pretty spot on, and then we have Splinter right there. So let's go ahead, get him out of the packaging. So right off the bat, this sort of reminds me of the Black Series figures that Hasbro's recently done. Now, obviously, Hasbro and NECA are two completely different companies, but this is kind of the same kind of style, I guess, is what I'm getting at here, where it's sort of a kind of a blue plastic translucent kind of thing going on. All right, first, I'll get this out. This is the fire. So in the movie, the Turtles are sort of sitting around a campfire, and they start meditating. And then the fire turns blue, and then Splinter appears to them, and it makes it seem like he's gonna die or is dead. But spoiler alert for a 30-year-old movie, he's not. So it does turn on, and I don't know if you can see that super well, but it is kind of flickering as well. There it goes. The blue doesn't come out on the camera as well as it should. There's a little switch right here. I'm gonna turn that off. Next, we have Splinter himself. Let's see, he is put in here by this little thing. So I'm gonna see. I don't want to damage the figure here. What I normally do in this kind of situation is I get nail clippers and I clip this, but I forgot to bring nail clippers. I think maybe I could probably. There we go. You cut one end, the whole thing should just come right off. There we go. There we are. Okay. Comes with a bag of marshmallows that Michelangelo brought. And then, of course, because he came prepared, here is his stick with marshmallows on it. Now look at this. Look at that. That is some detail right there. Those marshmallows look nice and toasty. I would totally eat those. Okay, so let's take a look at Master Splinter, his ghost outfit here. So he's a rat, which is good. That's his body. He's got a little wiggle down here. You have to be careful with NECA when you first get him out because they tend to be stiff and they can break. His tail is a little bent right here. That's actually, I'm pretty sure that's accurate to the movie. We got his hands. We got his face. Let's get it close up there. Look at that face. That's a good face. Very translucent. The blue, you can see through the plastic a little bit. So his hand moves up and down like that. His cloak is shedding all over the place. He's supposed to stand like that, like a rat. There we go. So I don't know how people tend to stand this guy. His tail tends to get in the way here. I don't think there's any hey, peg this in here place kind of thing. I think that's the manacle right there. It's a little molded detail. I don't think that's a spot to peg anything in. It actually stands on it. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn this on, and we're just going to kind of put him over the fire. That's more or less how he was in the movie. It's kind of hanging out. His tail is somewhat irritating for sure. If you have Splinter, how do you get around his tail? Please let me know down in the comments. So I'm a little worried about this. I'm going to take his nunchucks out here. Now the Turtles move normally. They have a little waggle up here. The head moves all the way around, like pretty freely. The arms move out. The elbows are a little limited because of the sculpting around here, but they're not bad. They come with a bunch of alternate hands. I didn't bring any. I have all of their accessories and bags. They've got a decent amount of leg tilt. They've got decent articulation for what they are. I see people like getting them to sit. They're all gonna kind of lean back just a little bit here. Everything's so stiff, and I'm afraid of breaking it. I pre-ordered the turtles. They came out at the beginning of 2019 or 2018, at least retail. I think it was 2018. There we go. And we'll take Raph's size out of his little side holster, side sheaths. There we go. His belt tends to kind of fall down, I guess. Oh, weird. They don't really want to sit up. I'm sure the original suits were really hard to sit in. We got Donnie, who's actually, weirdly enough, he's got my favorite look. I just like his face. I've always liked Donnie's face in these turtle figures here. Then we got Leo. I want to take his swords out here. Because again, in this scene, none of them had their weapons on them. They were just kind of meditating out in the middle of the forest late at night. Well, there we go. So those are the turtles with Splinter in his little ghost stand. I have no idea where I'm going to put this in my collection. It doesn't really fit where I have the turtles. I also, in this line, have the Shredder. I just got him from GameStop a little while ago. And this is a fantastic figure. I wasn't originally planning on getting anything but the original 4 turtles. But after seeing the Shredder, and I already was getting the Splinter, I might be in. I could probably track down a regular Splinter and the 2 foot soldiers. But this Shredder is incredible. I just want to take his mask off here. His face. Look at that detail. It's so good. This is probably my favorite iteration of the Shredder. I don't know if that's a popular opinion or not, and I honestly don't really care. I thought he was menacing. I thought, he wasn't just the goofy villain of the week kind of thing. He actually was, he beat the turtles. I mean, he had them dead to rights for most of that fight. I like the way he looks. I like the silver weird kind of shiny jumpsuit he's wearing. I love the claws. Look at these claws. He also comes with alternate hands. Comes with the spear thing that he uses to fight the turtles at the end of the movie. He comes with this little knife that I have on the back of his belt here that he uses to try to cut Splinter with at the end of the movie as well. Yeah, if you haven't seen this movie, I would say that this movie holds up the 30 years. Like the way they made it, the dialogue, the story, it's quintessentially late 80s, early 90s. Just looking at it, it's like watching a time capsule. But it holds up. The humor holds up. The dialogue holds up. The story holds up. I definitely enjoy it. NECA is doing a fantastic job with this line. They're kind of moving on to Turtles 2, which I'm pretty excited for. They just showed off Toka and Razar and Super Shredder. I know they're doing Casey Jones. Definitely a lot to look forward to here. I also have the 1/4 scaled version of these turtles. I might do a quick kind of review of that. But I guess if I were to review it, the Splinter looks is a 1. I mean, for a specific scene in the movie, he comes with a lot of great stuff. Accessories, I mean, Splinter, what can Splinter come with? He comes with a light up base, which is rad. And he comes with marshmallows and marshmallows on a stick. Now, admittedly, that's not for him. That's for Michelangelo because he had them in the movie. But it's a cool kind of accessory for others to come with to kind of complete a scene. So I'm going to give the accessories the full point. Articulation, I'm going to give... first of all, NECA always has questionable articulation, not just in how articulated it is, but it's kind of fragile. So I'm going to put articulation / fragility. I'm going to give it a 0.25. I'm having a really hard time getting the Splinter to stand up, and I'm really scared of it. So that's NECA's big problem here. The paint on here is fantastic. The soft goods cloak here is fantastic. The paint sculpt, all that stuff gets a 1, hands down. And then lastly, the want and availability, I'm going to give that, I'm going to give it a 0.25 as well. And that's because the want is there for sure, but the availability, if you didn't buy this thing in that 2-month window when the loot launcher happened, you're kind of boned because there's no way to really get it for a decent price. And even then, because it was a loot launcher, there's like a box full of stuff with this in it, and this is the only thing I cared about. and it costs $50. So 0.25 there. So the final score here is I'm going to give it a 3.5 out of 5. It suffers a little bit from NECA problems. NECA is not a perfect company, but they do some fantastic looking work. I definitely love the inclusion of this base stand here. I love the inclusion of the accessories, and I love that I can complete the scene. The turtles, I'm going to give them a little bit higher value. I'm going to give them each probably a 4 out of 5. I'm not as worried about them being as fragile because of the nature of how they're built. This guy's really skinny, but their weapons, my Michelangelo's nunchucks broke right out of the package. I had to glue them back together. So they definitely have places where I know people have broken Donatello's bow and Leonardo's sword. So there's things to be careful about here. And just might as well just run a raft size. Like any other toy, you can break them. And then Shredder here, I'm gonna give him right now because he's pretty. I mean, I found him without really trying. So I'm gonna give him actually a 4.5 out of 5. He just looks so good. So definitely, if you can find these turtles, the turtles in Splinter are gonna be pricey. Shredder, the regular Splinter, and the foot soldiers are not. So keep an eye out for those. They're worth every penny unless you way overpay, in which case they're not. But they're worth every penny that I paid for retail here. They retail for $25 a piece. Dude, I also love his cloak. Anyways, that's it for this kind of overview thing. Thanks for watching. Thanks for getting this far. This is the time where I normally thank Patreon subscribers, but I don't have a Patreon level for this. If you're a Patreon supporter, I'm just gonna thank you in general for supporting me on Patreon. It's super nice. If you guys want to support me, there's a link down in the downstairs area where you can do that. It goes a long way to helping out the channel. There's also a couple ways down there you can support the channel if you want to. Hitting the bell helps a lot, and that's pretty much it. So thanks so much for getting this far, and I'll see you guys later. Cowabunga. I mean, bye.